Hey everybody, my name is Sam.
And I'm Angela, and welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back to the next part of our mobile home renovation, where we are currently renovating our boys' bedroom and our 1988 Palm Harbor single-wide mobile home. If you're a long-time viewer, you probably said most of that with me, but kind of hiccuped on my cadence a little bit. Sorry, almost fumbled that one. Today we get to bring you guys through a journey that was pretty tough, painful, miserable, but all around just another step of this whole process.
So yes, it was very painful, so come along as we do our crown molding.
I shudder at the thought of seeing this again. Alright, so Angela is finishing up brushing a few little spots of touch-up paint on all the walls here in the bedroom and getting it finished so we can call it done for done's sake. What I'm going to do is right here in front of the green wall, set up these sawhorses and get myself a little workstation set up so I can go ahead and start painting our crown molding. It is so much easier to paint molding before it's installed, especially when we're dealing with finished paint ceilings and finished paint walls. We just don't want to mess up all the hard work we put into them. So as I unpack my sawhorses, I want to take a second and geek out and show you guys, look how compact these things are. And they clip together, which is really cool for storing them and carrying them. These we picked up from, about dropped it. Picked these up from Lowe's. They are Craftsman name brand, so not probably the best you can get, but they were affordable. They are lightweight and I just like them, so here you go, you're seeing them. They're all metal, the legs do pop out. Pretty easy. They're not rock solid sawhorses, but they do the job. And most importantly, they don't take up a lot of space when they're being stored. We have all of our crown molding sitting up here on top of the sawhorses, and we had to get creative to fit them in here because two of these are 12 feet long, and this room total is only 13 feet wide. So tight fit, but they're there. We're now going to take a quart of trim paint that we bought, and we're going to go ahead and paint these. We thought about brushing them versus rolling them, and it's just going to be easiest just to brush them on because brushes are easier and less complicated. All the crown molding has been painted and it is sitting over here to dry. We need to leave it till the paint is fully dried, but hopefully that won't take much more than an hour or hour and a half max. If you look over here in the corner, we didn't forget to paint one. That is our extra 8-foot crown molding, our oops piece per se. So we don't want to paint it in the event we don't need it. We can take it back to the store, or more likely we'll just take it and store it in the hallway or bathroom for use in the hallway or bathroom later when we get to that point of this whole project we're doing anyway. Well, we are back. We were gone a little bit longer than we expected for the hour or so to let the paint dry, but that's okay. We made a trip to a couple of nurseries and someone got some flowers and vegetables and seeds, so we're both happy.
Yes, we are.
So we are back and we are ready to go ahead and start configuring our tools and everything. And the first thing I need to do for the crown molding is to make a jig. So let's go ahead and get some things moved around and then we'll show you guys our jig.
Okay, let's go.
So the molding can go, I need to get into the corners, so it can't go in the corners. But if we want to lay it against that wall, kind of that way, I think I'll be able to work around it fine, as long as it's like that.
Okay.
Alright, the 12-footers.
We laid against the floor. Unless we're going in the middle, but they're going to get stepped on.
Can't even get out the room that way. I think we went this way. I'm going to stick these out through the hallway because I have to cut a foot or two off of these for my jig first. So, okay, that'll work-ish. Disclaimer, I am not a crown moldingologist. This is the first time we've ever installed crown molding and the first time ever doing it in a vaulted ceiling. So I am going to regurgitate and share with you things I learned off of other videos on YouTube. What I have here is my template, which as I've learned is required for doing crown molding in vaulted ceilings. This is nothing but a 90-degree inside corner, so two 45-degree cuts, and this has been brad nailed together. What I'm going to do with this is hold it up into each of my inside corners. We have 4 of them in this room. Find the correct angle and placement, and then mark the joints and seams and everything and positioning with a pencil on the wall. What we can then do from there is get the measurements of all the pencil marks, and that will be our cuts. The first time I heard that to do the vaulted part, you just do a 90-degree corner, it seemed like it wouldn't work, but it's pretty neat when you think of it as, instead of it being flat, you're just tilting one of those angles slightly. So you've got a 45-degree here. This is a little bit steeper than 45, but your eye won't pick up on it. It's the easiest way to do vaulted ceiling crown molding. So I'm gonna take my template and walk around to the corners and do some pencil marks on those freshly painted walls. Before I forget, I want to tell you guys a little trick that I learned through watching other videos on YouTube. As far as how to measure these long spans, you definitely need someone to help you, although I guess you could get away with it doing it by yourself, but help is always helpful. So what we did is we each picked a corner. Angela took the end of the tape, I took this end, measured, and I put a mark on the wall at 8 feet, even though our total length is longer than 8 feet. What that allowed me to do was take the measurement this way, use a shorter length from here to the corner. I measured that distance from the corner to my mark, added the two together, and that gives us our total span. It's a lot easier to do that than trying to finagle the tape measure, bending it into a corner, and dealing with tape measure sag over long distances. So, pretty cool little trick. It's the first time I'd ever use it, but I like it, and it worked pretty good. So, there you go. So as far as cutting crown molding on a miter saw, again, I've only done this once, so I'm just going to tell you what I've done, and so far it seems like it's working. I put the crown molding on the saw where it needs to be and put pencil lines on my actual saw. This gave me the distance I need to move it back and forth on my fence and a visual reference to know when the piece lines up with that pencil line, it's correct. As far as cutting crown molding, the most confusing thing about it is you cut crown molding upside down. So the piece of the molding or the length of the molding that is the top, you actually put it on the bottom on your miter saw. One of the videos I watched, the guy said you put the top on the tabletop, so that kind of made sense, but otherwise just remember it's always upside down than how you're going to put it in the room. So here's our piece. As remember, this is the bottom whenever it's going to be put on the wall, and this is the top. So top of the molding to the tabletop. I don't know if you can see it, but we do have our pencil line marked all the way across here. So for us, especially since this fence is not that large, it's not a crown molding saw, we just take it, pivot it down, and whenever the pencil line is here and it matches down on this end, we know that we have twisted enough and it's at the correct angle. What I'm going to do first is go ahead and cut this end of the board, and for this inside outside corners, you're going to have to just figure out which one's correct. But if I look at my jig, building the jig was handy for marking the walls, but it's also really nice to keep on hand to know which way I need to angle these miters depending if it's this board or this board in my joint. So holding it this way, I know that this board is this one, so I need to angle my miter in this direction like I have it. So in that case, the jig is actually useful in more than one way. All right, we are officially 1/3 of the way done with crown molding in this room.
Nice.
But those were the easy pieces. Overall, I think it's going pretty good. It looks just as well as I would expect it to look. It's not perfect, but the popcorns of the ceiling do affect where that crown molding does lay. Nothing that can't be covered up with caulk though, so I'm not too worried about it. Looks pretty good, but what do you think?
I think it'll be fine. The whole house has had gaps that we filled in with caulk around the ground molding, so it is what it is in this house.
That's true. It's just one more step towards finishing to cover up the mistakes of the previous step. So the next thing we need to do is go ahead and measure and find out what exactly are the angles of the peaks in our room. For that, I have this. It is an angle finder. Actually, it's just a pivoting piece that you can lock down from there when you have your angle. I'm going to be using a protractor. This is the only one I could find, but hey, it'll work. It's all mathematical. Basically, you want to find what your angle is up there. So let's assume that's a 120-degree angle up there. I'm guessing, I haven't measured it. What you do then is you divide it by 2 and you find your miter that you cut. So in that case, it would be 60 degrees. But that's kind of pointless. So let's actually get up there, measure our roof, and give you a real life scenario of this stuff in action.
Better for visual learners.
Yeah. Well, whatever it is, that's it. It's really low slope, but see what it measures.
$25, right? 25, so 180 minus 25. 165? No,
155?
right?
Well, let me see. So that would be if this, okay, put our start point, pivot here, rotate to 0. So 0, and the wood is at, 155. You win. 155. All right, what's half of that? Well, as you guys can tell, it is a little bit brighter in here, and that's because it's the next day. We both kind of ran out of steam at the exact same time once we put the pieces on the end walls, and we decided, you know what, let's just stop for the night. The quality is going to suffer, and we had other things to do like putting up the chickens and getting the chicks taken care of, and just general house stuff, family stuff that you do at evenings. So we're back in here today, and we're going to go ahead and continue working with the crown molding, shocker, and we're going to cut our peak angles next.
So last night, Sam measured the ceiling angle, and it's 155 degrees. Divide that in half, and it's 77.5.
So that is the angle we're going to cut our pieces to. So let's do that.
So we noticed that the two pieces of white molding that we painted up top look totally different. So we got a piece that we know is white, and we put it up on the wall here, and it's white. And we put it on this wall, and it's totally different color. Optical illusion. On this side, it's like tan. And on this side, it's white. And I scratched the wall.
So there you go. Thanks. I don't know. It's not nature. It's not physics, but paint.
Our eyeballs.
Paint Technologies is here fighting you. So they're the same color, although they don't look it here. What were you saying?
This is horrible, and we don't want to show any of it, but...
No, we should show it. This is reality. Some will say this is why they hire professionals, and other people may say, you know what? You were professionals, you did good, I'll probably do the same. Because professionals do great work, but they cost a lot more than we do. We put up as much crown molding as we can for right now because I messed up on one of the cuts. So Angela is going to paint it, the extra piece we saved. We're going to paint it now.
At least we have the extra piece.
Yeah, we should have just painted it yesterday though.
Possibly, yeah.
So overall, the crown molding is on the wall and it's not falling down. And that's probably the best part and best thing we can say about it. Other than that, we will use the power of the caulk to finish everything out, and it will look great. It'll look perfect.
It'll look fine.
Yeah, it's fine. The angles are not great. The peak up there is ludicrous, as is that one. But Alex caulk is wonderful, and we're going to use it.
And in the long thing, what do they say? In the long scheme of things?
In the grand scheme of things? In the long run.
Okay. In the long run, nobody's really going to be like, oh, that corner didn't line up all the way. Whenever we have the kids in here and their toys and dressers and beds and stuff like that, you're not going to see the crown molding that much.
True. Definitely true. We fixed worse that was already pre-installed by professionals, you know, when the house was built with caulking, so it's fine. While some people may not show you guys the horrible ugliness and they may just say, oh look, we're done, looks great, we put some caulk there. I want to show you guys, I'm not proud of those miter joints. This is not the quality work I like to do, but it's what happened and it's what it's going to be. So here's a before, yes, there you go, you can see it looks terrible. So now let's go ahead and cover it all up so no one knows except all of you people who just saw that.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to Renovation.
So while that was very painful, and it didn't look that great once we just got the crown molding up, once that caulk got put up there, it looks nice.
You would never know the difference. It looks really good. It looks better than the original that came with the home.
Yes.
And it looks a whole lot better than what we were
Expecting.
doing in the real-time moment.
It does look really good. I'm surprised that everything was able to caulk in place to where I guess it just kind of all mushes together when you look at it.
Hey, I gotta tell you, the power of the Alex caulk is amazing.
It is nice.
That sucker filled some gaps and built some bridges. I don't know. I think DOT crews should start using it for potholes.
Might actually get fixed, huh?
Yeah. So in this video, they got to see our optical illusion going on in this room. That's still in effect. We are still seeing two different colors of crown.
And it still looks totally wrong.
Yep, it really does, but hey, Hey, that's a good science lesson for the boys. They're gonna have to grow up in a room that looks wrong, but know that it's just an optical illusion.
It is. So the things we have to do to get the room done, we have to level out the floor a little bit, get rid of the humps,
Fill the gaps, prep
Yes.
the subfloor.
put down the floor.
Oh, that's
Put
gonna
down-
be easy. Floor of the whole room.
Maybe we'll take a day or two. Put down the floor molding and then the window molding.
Yep,
So floor molding, window molding.
that's not much.
We can count it on one hand.
3 things? Cool. Very cool. Well, I have this picture saved from Pinterest for inspiration for the windows, so stay tuned. Pinterest is a useful tool for sure, so a little bit of a squirrel, I guess. So we don't have much farther to go. Hopefully you guys are as excited as we are. The boys are super excited. They are already wanting to camp out in here, and it's a nightly routine of no, you can't sleep on the floor.
Sorry.
We don't care. Yes, the drywall dust you'll get splinters, you know. The boys are so excited, but I can't blame them one bit.
No,
This is the funnest room in the house, for
it
sure.
is. It's the nicest looking room in the house. So thank you guys for coming along as we did the crown molding today and did another big check off of our list. Please leave us a comment below. We'd love to read them. And otherwise, we'll see you next time on the homestead.
See you guys.
Bye.
Stuff everywhere. It'd be much easier just to touch up the little things on the ceiling when we have that done. Why do I always fizzle out?
Your hat's crooked.
My hat's crooked or my head's crooked?
Here's your hat.
You good? Okay. This is
You have to keep talking.
horrible lighting.
Optical illusion.
Of course, on camera, it's all gonna look white and gray.
Is it?
Yeah, but...
Oh, well.
Oh wait, no, you can see it here. There, this is better. A little green, but whatever. Are you peeking? Are you saying hey?
Hi. No.
Okay, pull it to your corner.
It is.
You okay down there?
Yeah, I'm trying to push it.
Oh. So I'm gonna get my stuff and start doing. Just leave it at that. What? Too long? Too short?
It's not the right angle.
How's that not the right angle? Is it going the wrong way?
It is.
I'm just like not even here. It's slowly exposing.
Right, if you go by that.
It's right-ish. And then this one, yeah, is wrong. I guess. Now we got one that is not painted. Okay, we're going to have to paint another piece before we're done. I don't know, but at this point, we've already gone through one. This is our only other extra piece. I'm just going to nail it, and we'll fill it in with a magical disappearing caulk. You good on your end?
Yeah, it's fine. Yes.
It was at the end of the project they figured out what they were doing. Feral children. Okay, I just gotta chillax. Alright, am I in? Okay. I'm still not focused on me. It's okay, it's not about me. Isaac, that's a little bit loud. Hey everybody, my name is Sam.
And I'm Angela, and welcome back to our channel.